Hey y'all, it's your girl Dawn Christina. I am back with another video. I have not made a video in probably about a year. So this is going to be my life update video for all of you because there has been a lot of changes in my life recently, quite a bit. So excuse the noise you may hear in the background. I'm currently in my sunroom and my kitten is at the window right now and he's wearing a little bell collar. So if you hear a little bell, that is him running around like that. And I apologize for the refrigerator if you hear that. I could not find my mic, so we're just gonna be talking loud enough for the camera to pick it up. But with all of that said, there has been so many life changes happening. I had to write it all down because I made this video previously and it was terrible. It was all over the place, very disorganized, and I decided, you know what, I have to redo this video because I am not posting this mess. So apologize for my nails because they also look crazy. So if you see them in camera, please ignore them. Just act like you don't even see them because they are non-existent, okay? Okay. And with that, I will get straight into the video. April 18th, 2024. Jax, come on. So April 18th, 2024 is when I originally lost my job. That was my last day at work, and I'll start with that week leading up to me getting laid off. I worked hiring events for an airline, and we hired all over the country. So this particular week I was in New York and traveled in, I believe it was a Monday because it was like a 2-day event. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe we were working, and then we flew out Thursday, I believe. I think it was a 2-day event. So anyway, I worked my shifts and I ended up actually having to cover another girl and working both two areas, you could say, in the hiring event, and running back and forth just kind of both days, very exhausted by the end of it. So I would say that Wednesday night I got off of work like regular. Me and my coworker are having a conversation because, and what's ironic is we were having a conversation about the work atmosphere and just about how much things have changed where we work because a lot of people have gotten laid off recently. And I was like, the surrounding circumstances to this conversation. Shortly after I got off, I received a message from my line manager, one of the managers above my manager. And so I missed it. If I get enough text messages that I feel like it can be a distraction, I'll just put my phone on personal. So I had it on personal throughout my work day, got off of work around 5, and I want to say about 5:09 is when she originally messaged me. And I did not see it right away. I got back to my hotel, I changed, I relaxed. I was gonna get ready to go to the gym after I had just debriefed for a moment. And it's probably about an hour now, and I see that she was messaged me a couple of times, and this is on Teams. So she messaged me the first time on Teams. She messaged me again when I didn't respond, and then she texted my personal phone number. And this is when I saw all of the messages she had left. And in the prior weeks, this was April, so about every month until April, somebody was let go. And it wasn't just one somebody, it was multiple somebodies. So I figured, you know what, this is probably exactly what this is. I kind of already knew what was happening, even though, you want to get off you want to just you don't want to necessarily think the worst, but I kind of already had a good idea. I replied back to her Teams message And I tell her I'm available to talk because it was something about she wanted to have a quick chat with me. She said, I know you're relaxed. I know you're off of work right now and you're outside of work hours, but if you could please ping me back. So pinged her back. We got on a call, very brief call, and I already knew what it was about. And basically she told me that I was one of the people that got let go. And this was very confusing for me because I was pretty good at my job. And I mean, I'm not just pretty good, I was really good at my job. I really did well at my job. And I just found it kind of odd, I guess, which if you're being laid off, I guess it doesn't really matter on your performance. But to me, I'm just like, we were already a very small team at this point. We went from like 40 something people down to like single digits at this point. So I was like, okay. I mean, I thought I would have been safe. And this is in the middle of my wedding planning, because if you saw my previous video, I did get engaged November 2023, and just before Thanksgiving. And so I was in the middle of planning my wedding because my wedding was in August 2024. So I'm like, okay. I wasn't really angry. I wasn't really sad. I didn't cry. I just knew. And I can't say I was shocked. It wasn't something that just came out of complete left field because they were getting rid of everybody at this point almost. So I was just like, okay, whatever. This isn't God's plan for me. So I get off the phone with her, and then I call one of my coworkers that I was just having this conversation about, you know, how many people have been let go and like what the work culture was like. And I called her first, and I was like, guess what? I just got let go. And she was like, what? And I know, like, what? That can't be. And then she called my other coworker. We ended up getting on a three-way, and it was just like, I don't understand why they would let you go. And, you know, it is what it is. It was expected. So, I mean, at that point, I was just like, okay, so I worked the last 2 weeks. So I was also traveling the week after that to Kansas City, and I had already booked that travel prior to knowing that I was getting laid off. It was just like a shocker to everybody, I think. I then called my mom, and I called my fiance at the time, and we were just talking about it and just like going over it, and we were like, okay, well, what's next? And that night I started applying to other jobs. And I'm telling you, it was so funny because one of my other coworkers that week was like, don't wait for them to just give you the X to start looking for another job. Go ahead and start looking, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as that week ended, my week ended, boom, like literally after my work day. But I mean, I guess luckily they gave me 2 weeks to be able to work those next 2 weeks. But also it's kind of like, on the flip side of things, you're like, you just let me go. So like, why would I want to even come in? You know what I mean? It's just not very good work experience on my part. But fast forward to that. So that happened April 2024. And from April 18th, that was when I officially stopped working. So I got a severance package and all the things that you should be getting when you get laid off. So I got the time for a vacation that I had left or accrued for the year, because I worked January to April, so whatever I accrued from that point, which wasn't a lot. And then I got I think that was it. And then they offered me some health package that was way too expensive for me. I started looking for jobs that same day that I found out, and just kept applying because I'm like, I need another job. I'm in the middle of planning my wedding. I still have bills that need to be paid. So, I mean, discussing it through, I had my severance package, I had the PTO, I had my last 2 weeks of work, and then I knew I could apply for unemployment, which is what I did. I applied for unemployment, which was a very confusing process. And I didn't get a lot. I only had $300 a week, which is not a lot at all. When I made, I want to say, I didn't make a lot, but I made more than that. Like, I made less than half of what I made just on employment. But, you know, combined together with my severance package and the PTO and my last 2 weeks of work and whatever I had saved up, it kind of worked out. So I was able to pay my bills, but I'm also in the middle of planning a wedding. So I have wedding expenses. My bills are not regular bills at this point because I'm still planning a wedding. I still have things I need to be paid for that. So obviously I have my fiance, right? So he was working, he does HVAC, so he was working. He was working, not as much as he is now, but he was getting some jobs and working and doing what he could. And I was still living by myself at that point. So I was paying all of my bills by myself and like paying whatever expenses I had for my wedding. And luckily, before I got laid off in February, I had my mom and my sister come down. I found my wedding dresses, I found my wedding dresses and they were paid for and everything. And I was just waiting on one of them to come in. And then I had already found his wedding ring and I had gotten it on a sale, Valentine's Day sale. So that ended up working out because I had those things set in place. Now for the other things, you could kind of cut corners a little bit. Like we did digital invitations, which I can do a video on if you want more details on that. We did a lot of digital things like digital save the date, digital invitations. But there are some things that I did myself that ended up being more free on the free end as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I did go through Etsy a lot and got a lot of different templates for like the program, and I did end up getting like physical invitations, which were really pretty, but we didn't get a lot of those. Only select people got those. So in the middle of that, I'm still paying for all of these wedding expenses, paying my bills, and I'm still looking for jobs. And it is 2024 is not, it's 2024, 2025. If you get laid off, the job market is crazy competitive right now because so many people are getting laid off. There are not a lot of jobs. There just aren't as many jobs as there once was. And I wasn't hearing back from anybody. I applied to many jobs. I got maybe, I want to say 2 interviews, one of which did not end up coming through for me. And then the other one I actually attended an interview for and I didn't get the job. But it was just like, nobody was calling me back. So being that my camera cut off, now I have to backtrack and tell y'all where I left off at because I didn't have enough storage. The audacity. Didn't get any callbacks. Like, nobody wanted to interview me except for like, I interviewed at one place and I didn't get the job, which was wonderful for me and kind of a waste of time. But recruiters reaching out to me and then ghosting me and not reaching back out to me when I reach out about a position, because there were a couple of times, and this is from Robert Half, if you've ever heard of that company. I've applied to them a few times, and there were 2 times where the recruiter reached out to me, I called them back, and I had to leave a voicemail, and nobody ever called me back, and it's a little weird. Like, why bother wasting your time or my time? I don't care if it's 5 seconds. Don't waste my time. If you don't want to talk to me, just say that or don't call me. A lot of like things that I've been seeing on social media about ghost jobs and things where companies will post a job and they're not really looking for anybody for that position. So why bother? You're just wasting everybody's time and wasting your resources. So about July, I want to say, one of my old managers reached out to me from my previous job. She wasn't my manager. She worked in a different part of the hiring process. She worked with flight attendants, and I'd never done flight attendants before, but that's exactly what they were looking for. They were looking for contractors who would work for the flight attendant hiring process. So she really liked me. She really liked the work that I did. She reached out to me, see if I would be interested, which worked out perfectly because my wedding was in August and then we would start in September, which was perfect because also my benefits ended in August. Like, unemployment was not paying me anymore. So I interviewed with her. I ended up getting the position, and so I've been working flight attendants till March 10th, We were originally supposed to end January, then it got pushed back to February, then it got pushed back to March. So we were supposed to originally end March 14th, but we ended up ending early. I only worked 2 hours the one day that we did work, and it wasn't very long, obviously, so my paycheck wasn't very healthy. I mean, I did get paid from September, but the hours were just kind of like, there were times where my hours didn't reach 40 hours a week. And so it would be like, oh, I get paid 50 something hours, 60 something hours, but not the full 80. And you know, when you're coming back from unemployment, you're kind of needing that money. In a wedding, you're needing that money. So it was whatever, at least I was getting paid, still looking for jobs in the meantime. Hadn't heard back from any of the jobs that I applied to, and this is where I realized HR is very competitive. They are HR roles are very hard to get, and then once you get it, the likelihood of you keeping it, from what I've heard, they lay off people a lot in the HR realm. They want to stay in that role or in that area, because I was a recruitment coordinator, so I mean, I knew some of the things. I didn't know everything, obviously, but you know, I have some experience in that HR realm, and I would have liked to have continued that. But from the looks of it, it's very, very hard to get those jobs, and every time that I've applied to an HR role, I've never even gotten an interview to be in the room. Applying to admin, which I've also had a lot of experience in, had a couple of interviews last week. Hopefully one of them goes somewhere. The place that reached out to me for an interview, one of them was a dentist office, and it was an office manager role. I'm not sure if I'm even going to get an interview with the doctor and, you know, get the job really. So who knows about that? And I'm still waiting to hear back from another job. Tomorrow I have an interview at 2:30 with another job. It doesn't pay a lot, but I mean, this can just be something more consistent until I find something better. And that's really the goal, is to find something better, get paid more. Inflation is going up. Things are expensive. My husband has been my rock through it all. Applying, getting rejected, it's hard. It is so hard. Nobody talks about how hard it is on your mental, because I have reached points where I'm just like, what's the point? What is the point if I can't even get in the room? And even if I get into the room, I'm still getting a rejection email because they found somebody better. It has been so hard and so difficult on my mental. It's just been rejection after rejection, and I'm just ready for somebody to give me a chance. Somebody say yes. Give me the opportunity for growth. I haven't even been able to take my honeymoon yet, because, I mean, where's that money coming from? I'm still kind of trying to rebuild my savings, which is a lot harder now because I'm working a contract role, which I'm technically still in. Even though I'm not working on the flight attendant side, they just want a team that can do pretty much everything for all hiring events. So flight attendants, airport customer service, all of the things, all of the hiring. That would be great if I was getting more consistent hours, which I am currently not. I have not been working for the past 3 weeks. So last week I wasn't working, this week I'm not working, and next week I'm not working. So where is that money coming from? Luckily, I have somebody that I can lean on to take most of that stress off. But it's not been easy. It has not been easy for either of us, and I am so grateful to my husband, and I am so grateful, thank you God, for, I could be living on the street somewhere. I really could, but I'm not. By the grace of God, he's helped me through it all. The most exciting part about this video is that I got married in August. If I had the funds to make it a little bit better, I would have, but regardless, looking back on it, it was a beautiful wedding. It really was. And thankfully, my wedding planner was my mother. So I didn't have to expense that, which is amazing. She's an event planner, and she helped plan the wedding, and That made things a lot easier because she had her own connections. So my wedding took place in Massachusetts, which is where I'm from. Planning the wedding was very, very stressful. More so because it's expensive to have a wedding, but when you don't have a job, it's kind of like, oh, okay. So you got to cut a lot of costs. My parents took a bulk of that cost, which I'm so grateful to them for. For all that has happened, I was still able to get my dream dress. I was still able to look beautiful on my day. I was able to have, my husband looked amazing on the day. Like, the pictures and the video came out great. My hair looked a mess by the end of the night, but it was worth it. I am hoping that we get to take our honeymoon soon. We are looking toward July for our honeymoon, so by the grace of God, everything will work out and we will be able to do exactly that. Also, you've been hearing my kitten run around. His name is Jack, so if you hear my videos, him running around with this little collared bell, that is him. He is 8 months old right now, and he is the sweetest and most loving kitten, but he is also very rambunctious and energetic, and he wants to play all of the time. And sometimes mama don't have the patience for it, but that's my baby. You can't believe I'm a whole wife. That part is kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very insane to look at myself and be like, I'm a wife. Yeah, I have a husband. We have a life together. Kids on the horizon. Like, I am 29. I'm gonna be 30 next month. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not. I promise you I'm not looking forward to that. Can't believe I'm gonna be 30. That's gonna be 3 decades that I've been alive. I guess it's about time that I would have gotten married. I mean, that I should be married by now. But like 29 is a good age. You're still young enough that you don't have to have kids right away. But you know, if you wanted to have kids right away, which we do not right now, God is so good. Like, he is so good. And basically my channel is going to be my testimony as to how good God is, because God placed my husband in my life for a reason. We got married when we did for a reason. I lost my job for a reason. I was getting too comfortable. It's time to be uncomfortable. And God is just pushing me out of my comfort zone. And trust me, I'm way out of my comfort zone. Believe me. Trust. This is not my preference. This is not what I wanted. But God said, you need to move. You need to move. He is preparing me for something better. That is all I can look at it as. And when better comes, you guys will be on that journey with me. I just wanted to show my little kitten on here. This is Jax. Say hi, Jax. He's been trying to sit in this seat ever since I took the cover off of it because he likes to scratch it. He was just chilling on the couch and I kind of disturbed him, but I just wanted him to make a little quick appearance before I get off this video. I want to thank you for watching this video and following my journey, and I am so excited to see what's in store, and I hope you guys are just as excited as me. Bye.